Imagine this: a 3-month-old baby floating in a woven basket down the Nile River, hours from certain death. Royal decree demanded his execution. Crocodiles patrolled those waters. The current was merciless. Yet somehow, this doomed baby would grow up to defy the most powerful ruler on Earth, unleash catastrophic plagues upon an empire, and lead millions across a sea that split in two. This is the true story of Moses. In ancient Egypt, more than 3,000 years ago, the Hebrew slaves had multiplied so rapidly that the Pharaoh issued a horrific command. Every newborn Hebrew boy must be thrown into the Nile, population control through infanticide. A woman named Jochebed looked at her newborn son and made an impossible choice. For 3 months she hid him, muffling his cries, living in constant terror of being discovered. But babies grow, they get noisier. The day came when concealment was no longer an option. She wove a waterproof basket from papyrus reeds, sealed it with pitch and bitumen, placed her son inside, and set him among the reeds on the riverbank. Her sister Miriam watched helplessly from a distance. Then something extraordinary happened. The Egyptian princess came to bathe at that very spot. She found the basket, opened it, and saw the baby crying. Despite knowing he was Hebrew, despite his father's death decree, she decided to keep him. Miriam seized the moment, offering to find a Hebrew nurse. The princess agreed. Ironically, Jochebed was paid to raise her own son in the royal palace. The princess named him Moses, drawn from the water. Moses grew up as Egyptian royalty, surrounded by wealth, power, and privilege. But he knew the truth about his origins. At 40, he witnessed an Egyptian brutally beating a Hebrew slave. Something snapped inside him. He looked around. No witnesses. He killed the Egyptian and buried him in the sand. The next day, he tried to stop 2 Hebrews from fighting. One turned on him. "Are you going to kill me like you killed that Egyptian?" Moses' blood froze. Pharaoh learned of the murder and ordered his execution. The prince fled to the desert of Midian, abandoning palaces, riches, and power. He became a nobody, a nomadic shepherd. For 40 years, he tended sheep in silence, his past life seemingly erased. The prince had become invisible. Then, at 80 years old, Moses saw something that defied physics. While herding his flock near Mount Horeb, he noticed a bush engulfed in flames, but not burning. The fire danced and roared, but the branches remained intact. As he approached, a voice thundered from the flames. "Moses, take off your sandals. This ground is sacred. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." Moses covered his face in terror. The voice continued, "I have seen the oppression of my people in Egypt. I have heard their cries. I am sending you to take them out of there." Moses protested. He stammered apologies. "Who am I? What if they don't believe me?" The voice transformed his staff into a snake, then made his hand leprous before instantly healing it. "I will be with you," the voice promised. Moses had no choice. Back in Egypt, Moses confronted Pharaoh. "Let my people go." Pharaoh laughed and increased the oppression. Then the impossible began. 10 devastating plagues ravaged Egypt. The Nile turned to blood, fish died, the water became undrinkable. Frogs invaded every house, every bed, every oven. Lice covered humans and animals. Swarms of flies covered the land. Cattle fell dead in the fields. Painful ulcers erupted on Egyptian skin. Hail mixed with fire destroyed crops. Locusts devoured what remained. Absolute darkness covered Egypt for 3 days. Darkness so dense you could feel it. After each plague, Pharaoh refused, until the 10th plague. At midnight, death swept through Egypt. Every firstborn Egyptian died, from Pharaoh's son to the prisoner's son, from nobles to servants. Only houses marked with lamb's blood were spared. The lament echoed throughout the nation. The broken Pharaoh finally surrendered. "Get out, go away, depart." 600,000 men, plus women and children, fled Egypt. But Pharaoh regretted his decision. He mobilized his entire army, chariots, cavalry, infantry, and pursued them. The Hebrews found themselves trapped. Ahead was the Red Sea. Behind them, Egyptian chariots approaching in a cloud of dust. Panic erupted. "We're going to die here!" Moses raised his staff over the sea. A powerful east wind blew all night. The waters parted, forming 2 walls of liquid suspended in the air. The people crossed on dry land between the towering walls of water. The Egyptians pursued them across the seabed. When the last Hebrew reached the opposite shore, Moses extended his staff again. The walls of water collapsed with a deafening roar, swallowing the entire Egyptian army. None survived. The baby sentenced to death became the liberator of millions. The stuttering shepherd became the voice that brought an empire to its knees. The fugitive murderer became the leader of a nation. The story of Moses raises a disturbing question. What if your greatest weakness is precisely what qualifies you for something extraordinary? What if the impossible situation you're facing isn't the end of your story, but the beginning of something you can't even imagine yet? Sometimes the sea only parts when there's absolutely nowhere else to go. What is your Red Sea? Comment below. What challenge do you need to overcome? If this story inspired you, leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of these great heroes.